I'm not the kind of guy to experiment film stock wise. My logic has always been, if I'm going to invest the extra time and money into shooting film, I want to be confident in the colours, the film grain, the tones, and the dynamic range. But what a dull way to live. Variety is the spice of rice, and beauty, thy name is Max Color 200. Unfortunately, finding information on Max Color 200 is about as easy as finding someone who unironically likes Nikon cameras. It's pretty hard. From what I can tell, it's a daylight balanced Kodak cinema film with the remjet layer removed. And if you don't really know what any of that means, basically it's like taking a race car, making it road legal, and having it run on 91. It's not going to perform the way it does on the track, but it's still got 500 horsepower and you can fill it up at the local Ampol. If you don't know what that means, I'm really out of metaphors. This is one of those photographs that really makes it worthwhile to shoot film, I think. I could have got this photograph in digital, obviously, but I think that on any digital sensor, those highlights which I enjoy so much here, which create atmosphere and create this silhouette, those highlights would be blown out in such an ugly manner on any digital sensor that I think the photograph would be unsalvageable. The way film handles overexposed areas is just so graceful. You even still get some cloud detail in those incredibly hot areas in the top right hand side, and that doesn't make the photograph overwhelming. This is a scenario where film has really shone. Side note, on Max Color 200, I really like the greens and the blues. I think it handles those colors very well. So, like a baguette cut in half, these Max Color 200 rolls, they're a bit short. About 18 exposures to be exact, which is pretty much exactly half of what you get on a normal roll, and that's not, inherently bad, that's fine, but they're still charging $20, and, 18 exposures for $20, I don't call that exactly a bargain, even in today's market. On that, because of the 18 exposures, I actually went through my 3 rolls of Max Color 200 in about a day and a half down in Hobart, which forced me to purchase my nemesis of all films, Kodak Ultramax 400, which I'm fairly confident was either made by or is made for specifically people who are colorblind. It's like a Chrysler PT Cruiser. It just looks like shit. And despite Ultramax trying to ruin my day, the colours in Hobart on that evening were still quite nice. on our final day in Hobart, we visited Mona, the Museum of Old and New Art, and I really didn't get many photos. I guess why would I? It would just, it's just like taking photos of other people's art. I have like a whole other rant about how I don't think Mona is very well designed, but I'm gonna leave that for now. After Mona though, we did visit Mount Wellington, which was amazing. You Google Mount Wellington, and most of the photographs that come up on Mount Wellington are, either from a distance or of that sort of touristy observation deck there, which is nice, but nevertheless a little boring. What is not widely advertised is the absolutely monstrous telecommunications tower, which is so cool. What a monolith. And it really creates this compositional challenge because you want to capture its expanse, right? It's ginormity, but if you go too far back, you can sort of lose its scale in the landscape. There's nothing for us to, no fence or building. If you're trying to go all the way back and you capture the whole thing, you lose a sense of scale in comparison to something regular human size that we could understand. And if you are closer but tilt up, then I think you also lose context of where it sits in the landscape. So to solve this problem, I just cut it off midway, and these are actually some of my favorite photographs from the trip. I love how ominous it is, how looming in the landscape. It just looks really cool. And I'm happy with it. So, despite being photographed on Ultramax. Alright, okay, one more time. I've tried recording this twice now. God damn it. Okay, it's a mountain. I like this photograph of Mount Wellington. We get some context for where the mountain exists in relation to the town and how it observes and overlooks and intrudes upon the town really well here. I like the colours. I think the Max Color 200 handled the greens and blues really nicely. And again, I talked about how I love film so elegantly deals with blown out highlights. Great stuff. Early morning photograph of a hotel in Mount Wellington. Again, this is more of a colours and an atmosphere image. That is the reason I like it. I don't think the composition is great. I don't think it tells a great story. But I do enjoy the atmosphere. And this single light in the center here being on, I think that, asks some questions. Who's there? Why is that light on? Salamanca Markets. This is my favorite photograph. The sailors here, what are these cheeky boys up to? I'm alright. What are they bloody doing? What's he grabbing his friend for? It's such a funny mid-motion to be captured in. What does he want to show him? Inviting questions once again. This photograph is all about the texture and colour of the curds for me. I think that's just a really strong element of the photograph. Really inviting, really inviting. I like it. And the final photograph I want to talk about is the telecommunications tower on Mount Wellington. I really like this photograph. I like how the fence gives us scale. I like how we don't see the all of the telecommunications tower. So, it could be going off into infinity. There's no limit to its size. All we know is that it is massive. And, it begs questions from the viewer. If you don't know where this is, if you don't understand the context, what are you looking at here? But it is shot on Kodak Ultramax 400, which -5 points. Gross. And that is pretty much it for this week. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for sticking with it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you again on Thursday in 2 weeks.